All right, so we going back to college. Jay, this might sound familiar, baby. It sounds like something that we was talking about not too long ago. Probably one of our best performing video segments. The Big 12 expansion. And we talked about if it was a possibility that the ACC could, I mean, the AAC, um, could replace the Big 12, or the Big 12 would have to merge or some of that sort with the AAC to stay alive. As we see it now, they say that formal invitations would be sent out to four teams in the AAC conference. That's UCF, Cincinnati, and Houston. I don't think BYU is in the AAC. I think BYU is an independent. So that's three from the AAC and then one independent. I think those are the four best choices out of all the teams. I mean, some would probably say, what about Boise State over BYU? Maybe, give or take, but I don't have a problem with those four teams being the four teams that's in the mix. So with that said, is this enough for the 12 to stay afloat and remain and to keep their spot as a Power Five and maintain the respect of the rest of the college football nation?
First of all, I just want to get a quick point out the way because I can always hear it. You know, you got your keyboard warriors out there typing up right now. See, I told you they weren't going to do that merger you were going to talk about. Yeah. So, oh, by the way, I never said they would do a merger, I'm pretty sure. I said that's what I thought they should do. I still think some sort of merger, which would be mutually beneficial to the Big 12 and the AAC, would be something I would like to see. However, it doesn't look like we're going to get there. But to your question, I do think this would be enough. I do think those are enough quality programs. I do think there is an argument for a Boise State to come in there, maybe a Memphis. I mean, if you're the Big 12, I mean, I know it say Big 12, but do you got to stop there? I mean, it ain't like the Big 10 stopped at 10 teams. You know, the Pac-12, they ain't gonna stop at 12 if they don't have to. So maybe you look at adding a little bit more to just add some insurance because you never know. SEC might come for Oklahoma State next year. We don't know. So,
Right.
but I do think this is enough quality. I think Cincinnati definitely with where they are right now. BYU is a really good program. UCF has fallen off a little bit lately, but now, look, Gus Malzahn. I think Gus Malzahn is probably maybe the most person that's thrilled about this because instead of, the banishment to the SEC to the AAC, I just slide back into the Big 12 and we back to doing something.
Right.
So I like this. Obviously, for the Big 12, this would be somewhat beneficial. I think when you line all these teams up and you put them on par with the Pac-12, that's a legitimate argument, I believe. I do think the Pac-12 got a few top dogs. Like I'm taking Oregon, I'm taking USC probably, but then after that, it probably get a little bit more interesting, especially with this presumably this depth that the Big 12 is going to add. The problem with this is obviously for the AAC. The AAC just gonna be like, well, man, we built this thing up as far as we could do it, and now we just gonna lose all that good programs, and we back to being just nothing. Because the AAC is like, we kind of I look at the AAC kind of as you got the Power Five, you got the Group of Five. The AAC is like right in the middle, and they pressing to the Power Five, trying to break in there, and it's gonna throw them all the way back into the heap of junk.
It's almost like a startup, right? Like you start, like you build something, you start it up, you get some momentum, boom, 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 and then a big company like, hey man, we want to buy you for like 2 point,
right?
And then they take you, and then that's what it sounds like. The AAC work their way up. Big 12's like, hey man, we'll give you this much money for your project. Okay, cool. And then it's like, well, hoping I can build another one. Good luck with that.
But yeah, I do think this is enough. These four, maybe you add one or two more. I think it's enough. They keep their Power Five status. It is an uphill battle because it's not like I don't think any of those programs can replace what Oklahoma does for them. But it will keep them in play, and at least you have some sort of argument with the Pac-12.
Yeah, I think first of all, and this is what we was trying to say before we got attacked by the Big 12 conference fans. What we was trying to say was, listen, I know I said replace them, And I know the Big 12 got these big stadiums and they make more money, and the AAC don't make enough money and all. If you were so great, why is Texas and Oklahoma leaving?
Ooh.
What if the Big 12 is so great, right? This is what the Big 12 fans don't want to hear. Like, we do this. We can sit 100,000 people in the. Okay, so why would Texas and Oklahoma leave that? Only to join the conference that could do the same thing, right? But it's a reason why they're leaving. Because clearly.
To where both of those schools are going to hold more L's now.
So that's what I'm saying. Like, so if it's so great, please tell me. I mean, yeah, you do have that benefit. Yeah, you do have the revenue that the AAC don't. But that don't automatically mean, oh, you guys are so much greater than them. That just means you had a better head start than them, if you want to be real. How old is the AAC conference? How old is the Big 12 conference? Like, all that matters when you talk about the grand scheme of things. That matters. But that's neither here nor there. As far as the expansion go, I love the teams that they pick. Like I said, they want to throw in a Boise State. I ain't mad at that. If they wanted to go out, and I'm surprised. I don't know why we didn't get SMU up in this thing with them being right there in Dallas. I don't know, but I thought SMU should have been a shoe-in for this. Maybe they wasn't as attractive, or maybe they didn't really want to come as much as we thought. Maybe they feel like, hey, we like what we got going on here over at the AAC, so we'll stay here. I don't know. But I thought SMU would have been one of the teams. Like you said, though, we could have more teams getting added down the road. I ain't mad at Boise State and SMU being the next two teams that get a call. So I do think this is them adding these new teams now allows us a different view of the Big 12. Once Texas and Oklahoma's out the way. And here's what I did read that I thought was interesting. They were saying that BYU could end up joining the conference a year earlier than UCF, Cincinnati, and Houston. At the same time, when BYU, if they come to the conference early, Oklahoma and Texas could still be with the conference when they come. So now you got to figure that out. How you going to align that? If BYU the new guys and you still got the old guys that force you to go find the new guys that's still playing with you. So now you got to figure that out.
Awkward.
You know what I'm saying? So you got to figure that out. But with that all said and done, I like the move. And like you said, it's not far-fetched to think that Oklahoma State won't get – I think with you adding these teams, Oklahoma State probably is looking for a new suitor. Because you got to understand, like, the egos of some of these teams, right? Oh, well, with the Big 12, boom, boom, now we bringing in all these Group of 5 teams. I want to go to a real Power 5 conference now. I ain't got time. We out here looking like overrated Group of 5 conference now. I don't want to be part of this. I'll go to take my talents to the Pac-12 or take my talents to the Big 10 or whatever the case might be to a legitimate Power 5 conference. So I wouldn't be surprised to hear that. But when it's all said and done, listen, okay, now Big 12 fans, now that you got these teams and you such a powerhouse, let me see how these teams become a powerhouse. Let me see the 100,000 stadiums that you like to remind me about and the revenue that you like to remind me about now, since you're so powerful. Because I tell you right now, Vanderbilt probably make just as much money as most of the teams in the Big 12. And they ain't even that good at football. But you want to tell me about how big the brand is in the Big 12? You're over here hanging on by dear life, and oh my God, we was being so disrespectful. So, we had to make sure that we let the haters know we do know a little bit about what we talking about, because look what just transpired. Oh my God, look what just transpired. Look what the Big 12 just did. The conference that ain't finna go get none of those little sorry AAC teams that I've been hearing on our channel and, throughout social media. What you call them, keyboard warriors? Got callous all on the tip of their fingers because that's all they do. Look at that. Look what you end up having to do at the end of the day. So clearly me and Jay know a little bit about what we talking about. We ain't just running our mouths. So with that said, it's a good move. I like it. And I do want to see how this all pans out with BYU being able to move different because they're independent. They don't belong to a conference. And then with the departure of Oklahoma and Texas. And breaking news, by the way, Virginia Tech just went up 14-0 on North Carolina. Just wanted to throw that out there.